네, 이번 세션은 디지털 교육혁명 그리고 고등교육의 미래라는 주제로 발표와 토론이 진행되도록 하겠습니다. 좌장은 장순응 한동대 총장님께서 함께해 주시겠습니다. 여러분 큰 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 부탁드립니다.
Good afternoon. My name is Sunung Chang, President of the Handong Global University. Today in plenary session, you are going to discuss about the digital education revolution and the future of higher education. Especially in this session, you are going to discuss about how to apply the digital technology in the university and the higher education. Yeah? And also you discuss over digitalization of university also. So you are going to discuss about the advantage and disadvantage and pro and con of the online education and hybrid education and something like that. But, and also you are going to discuss over the what must be done, the advanced education for the university. So for this kind of matters, today you have the distinguished speakers, 3 distinguished speakers, and 1 panelist. Okay, and let me briefly introduce first 3 speakers. And first speaker is Motainchi. He's a Union Minister of Education of Minister of the Education of Myanmar. Okay, let's keep a big hand. And second speaker is the Chancellor of UCLA, Jean Block, Mr. Chancellor Block. Okay, third speaker is Jacques Biot, Mr. President of the Ecole. And you have the distinguished panelist. He's a former professor of KAIST, and I'm now the president of Artificial Intelligence Research Institute with Kim Jin-Hyung. Okay. Our session is consists of the 3 speakers, 20 minutes presentation, plus 10 minutes panel discussion. Then you'll have some discussion and time for open forums. So first speaker is, I'd like to invite Mr. Myoten-chi for his presentation about the digital education and revolution. And okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank moderator Professor Song-Hwai Chen to give me opportunity to present the presentation. And I would like to also thank host Korean Ministry of Education, Korean Economic Daily, and Krivet for well-organized and impressive this Global HR Forum 2016 and invitation for delegations from Myanmar to Korea. First of all, I would like to introduce what we are introducing the digital education in Myanmar. First of all, I would like to introduce the Myanmar education system. In Myanmar, basic education system is 5 years old children go to the KG this year, and then according to the national education law, we are now introducing the KG plus 5, 4, 3 system. This academic year, we only introduced the KG, and existing basic education system is 5, 4 to 11 schooling years. That's why we are introducing the KG plus 543 system according to our national education law. Higher education system is for the bachelor degree, 4 years bachelor degree programs and 2 years master degree programs, and some university offer the PhD degree program. It depends on the 3 to 5 years. Now I would like to talk on the what is every country is doing for the education. Every country is trying to improve inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all as the Sustainable Development Goal number 4 for the quality education. Because education plays key role to human resource development, poverty reduction, security and peace, economic development, and so on. Technology is developed very fast on the world. Most of the developing countries is trying to narrow gap between rich and poor, urban and rural area, gender inequality, and hurt and disabled persons, and so on. So technology is used as effective tool for education opportunities and to improve the quality of education. So in the world of the education, most of the education learners can use the new technologies to have the opportunities for the education from home, libraries, internet cafes, workplaces, and so on. They can use also mobile phones, desktop computers, laptops, tablet, iPad, and so on for their learning. In Myanmar, in the basic education, there are 46,006 primary, middle school, and high schools. And there are 9 million students attending the basic education schools. And in the basic education schools, for example, I would like to introduce the Myanmar primary students. For example, every year, 1 million students, estimately 1 million students come to the schools. Every year, 1 million new students come to the primary schools. And then this means for the 11 schooling years, and then it may be 11 million students. But in Myanmar, its total number of students in the basic education is 9 million students. Those students are enrolled at the public schools. This means, in the monastic schools and private schools, students are about 0.5 million students. That's why 9.5 million students are enrolled at the private schools and public schools for the basic educations. That's why in the basic education, 1.5 million students are missing, and in every grade, there are potential school dropout candidates, and there are so many school dropouts. That's why in Myanmar, we are introducing also alternative education, non-formal education system for those school dropout children and for those adult people for the basic literacy campaign. That's why in Myanmar, if possible, we would like to use effectively for the mobile phones, mobile educations, and we would like to introduce the e-education for those school dropout children and for the effectively. The next one is the through digital technologies. Anytime, learner can have opportunities, whatever they want to learn, how they want to learn, when they want to learn. Not only in the classroom, but also from the books. Thanks to the online courses, everyone has opportunity to learn what want to learn anytime. This is due to the technological advancement. The next one is challenges. In 20th century, teacher-centered learning is effectively used. In 21st centuries, now it is teaching learning methodology is learner-centered teaching learning methodology, and in 20th century, passive learning. In 21st centuries, now it is more active learning for the students and teachers, more engagement. There are more multi-channel and personalized learning opportunities to meet the diverse demands. Last 3 decades, not only basic literacy, but also basic numeracy were very important. Yesterday, functional literacy are very important, and today, computer literacy is very important, That's why anywhere, any place, technology is available for learners if there are facilities for the learning. The next one I would like to talk about is every year, new mobile technology is developed, more popular in social networking such as Facebook, Twitter. In 21st centuries, we need more investment in green economy due to weather change, greenhouse effect. That's why we have to use also green computing such as energy saving. For open coursework are available for the degree, certificate, or capacity building for the relevant workplace. Cloud computing such as Google Classroom technologies are used for identity management, governance and leadership, budgeting, inventory control, etc. Comprehensive support services such as enrollment, testing, result assessment are used for the technology. The next one I would like to introduce is digital revolution in education in Myanmar. In Myanmar, we introduced the ICT education in 2001. We established the computer training centers in every universities, degree colleges, and colleges, and also e-education resource centers for the e-resources such as the e-resources, e-education learning centers for the e-learning, and computer-aided language labs and multimedia lecture rooms in 2000 and 2001. But we need to update the ICT facilities, and we are so far to meet the advanced technology. And ICT facilities are used by the learners to use the technologies in their learning. Faculty members are approved and introduction to their students effectively and actively for the lecture and presentations. Since 1999, Myanmar Ministry of Education has been given careful consideration to the nurturing of teachers for e-instruction or e-teaching and assessment tools, but we need to improve new technology and we need to support education, e-education facilities. In Myanmar, all universities can have the internet access. Some universities, they have the fiber optic internet, and some universities, they have the Wi-Fi internet access in university campus, especially in the libraries for the e-resources. Academic staffs are encouraged to use the lessons available from internet, give students the assignments which have to work with internet. At the tertiary level, every undergraduate student has a chance to learn basic computer skills for 50 hours in each academic year if the students wish to learn the basic computer skills. There are also online courses at the University of Yangon offer master degree program for the computer science, diploma in computer science, and diploma in library and information management courses are available at the University of Yangon. University of Yangon University of Economics offer online courses for the Master of Business Administration. MBA program is now popular among the administrative officers and businessmen and entrepreneurs in Myanmar. It offers at the evenings and weekend holidays. Yangon University of Distance Education offer postgraduate diploma in law as the online courses. It is popular for the member of parliaments. Bachelor degree courses in law, also online courses for the 5 years, and weekly assignments, tutorials, and online face-to-face discussions are used for the online courses. Final examinations is also online examination. It is also available for the online materials. It depends on the academic materials, including textbooks, journal articles, web-based resources, also available online. Now, most of the Myanmar universities are using electric information for the libraries. It is supported by the Open Society Foundation from the USA. That's why faculty members and students can use the unrestricted online access and impressive collection, high-quality international journals, e-books, and databases. And it is also available for the training programs for the new e-library, teaching, learning, and research also. It is funded by Open Society Foundation. Now we are organizing for the e-libraries consortiums for the 7 universities in Myanmar, and then we are planning to expand the online e-libraries. Now I would like to introduce also mobile information literacy courses based on the University of Washington course modules will be contacted for the librarians and some officials for the capacity building. It's indeed a growing collection of training materials designed to build information literacy via mobile phone and essential tools for transforming to e-governments. In Myanmar, we are using Skype and Viber for the effectively used for the online courses, not only from the Washington University. We are using only for we are working together with the International Institute of the Education for the capacity building training programs for rectors, prorectors, and dean for the management and governance and leadership training programs. We are using for the Skype and Vibers for the e-learning training programs. We are cooperation with the higher education institutions from the Republic of Korea also. Myanmar ICT Development Master Plan, initiated in 2000 in collaboration with the government of the Republic of Korea, was launched in 2005. That's why we are working together with the higher education institutions from Republic of Korea with the Myanmar University, like the University of Technology, Yatanabong Cyber City in Piuluen, and University of Information Technology in Yangon, and member universities of the ASEAN Cyber Cities are working together for the ASEAN project. Main purpose of the ACU project is to contribute to reinforcing higher education in ASEAN region by means of e-learning and strengthening international relationships between Republic of Korea and ASEAN member countries. We are working together also with the War Friend Korea volunteers for the assistance by the Quaker to the University of Computer Studies, Yangon, UCSY, also University of Computer Studies, Manila, and West Yangon Technological University, Yangon Technological University, Manila Technological University, and that's why War Friend Korean volunteers are giving the lectures to the students, not only for the students, but also for the faculty members for the capacity building. Now, specialized universities in Myanmar, learning management system, mobile application for teaching and learning environment, e-learning system, interactive video conferencing system, digital library system, private cloud for hands-on labs, virtual labs and resource sharing, smart classrooms with projection system, document camera, smart boards and media site recorders, etc., research and education network plan to extend to other universities and the Ministry of Education for the utilization of the effectiveness of e-learning. In Myanmar, we are now improving the human resource development, and in 2013, we hold the Empowering Higher Education in 2013 in Naypyidaw. In this conference, the State Chancellor, today's State Chancellor, Her Excellency Daw Aung San Suu Kyi, attended, and she pointed out that empowerment through autonomy. In Myanmar, according to the national education law, every university will become autonomous university. That's why we are now introducing the university autonomy, and we are now improving the capacity development in universities. That's why for the autonomy, it is very important universities management for their academic activities in effective manner according to their own charters. That's why in Myanmar, every university is now drafting the university charters for the university autonomy. University autonomy means in line with our national research culture, their customs and their values and their identities, and our national cultures and our national identities and our national values for the development of our economy. The second one is the inclusiveness. In Myanmar, inclusive education is now very important, not only in the basic education, but also in the TVET sector and higher education sector also. Inclusiveness is a basic requirement to ensure equal opportunities for all groups in Myanmar society in terms of access and success in education. In Myanmar, for the inclusive education, and then it means urban and rural, low income and high income families, and gender equalities and so on. In Myanmar there are also disabled persons. Inclusiveness is also very critical to improve the inclusive education. The third one I would like to introduce is empowerment for change. In Myanmar now, our motto is time for change and time for sharing. Time for change is to improve the ability of each university to transform itself into an innovative institution with digital advances. That's why in Myanmar we are now trying to improve the education with the advantages of the digital education. The fourth one is the empowerment for the future. Our future depends on our youths from the Myanmar youths. That's why Empowerment for the future through reforms of the curriculum and pedagogical practices is very important for the preparing the young women and men of Myanmar who will be responsible for creating a more democratic society and building a more productive economy for the sustainable development in Myanmar. The next one I would like to introduce is now we are upgrading our national university, Yangon University, known as the. In Yangon University, Yangon University offer the bachelor degree programs re-offer in 2013. That's why at the Yangon universities, there are bachelor degree programs for the young, talented students for the bachelor degree programs. And we are trying to improve the quality of the teaching, learning methodology. We are trying to produce the talented graduates with the right skills for the needs of the labor markets. And we are trying to reintroduce the research culture. Now in Myanmar, we are very critical for the research culture. That's why we are trying to encourage the research to do more research work at the universities, and now we are encouraging the universities for the internationalization, and we are trying to improve as a model in the ASEAN region again. In the conclusion, I would like to conclude, digital revolution in education is happening with the advances of technologies. In the world, technology is very important, and utilizing powerful tools to reshape the learning environment to nurture the young people. In the future, most of the textbooks used by the undergraduate students may be replaced by the digital textbooks. This is the very challenging, and this is the dream of the Myanmar higher education institutions. The global e-learning market growth rate will rise rapidly. That's why Myanmar higher education institutions are in line with the global e-learning market growth rate will rise rapidly. In the conclusion, it is challenging in the future, and the schools and university classrooms will be able to adapt and integrate with the modern technologies with which students are pursuing their studies, cope with the new environment, and encourage the digital revolution in education for the development of the education throughout the world. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. Mitochi. Yeah, he gave us the very clear and informative presentation about the vision and plan of the digital education and higher education in general of the Myanmar. Thank you again. I'll go to the next speaker. The next speaker is Chancellor Jean Black. Yeah? So I'd like to introduce him. You have already, in the conference book include his curriculum vitae, and he's the actually famous professor, used to be professor of the psychology and the biology, neurobiology, and now I'd like to invite Mr. Chancellor Jean Black. Okay.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank the organizers for inviting me. Well, my field is actually circadian rhythms, and I study something called changes in performance over the day, and one thing that's for certain is after lunch, you get very sleepy. So I'm going to try not to make you any sleepier, because you naturally get sleepy after lunch. So I'm really quite honored to be here today. And this is my second time in South Korea in as many months. I was here actually last month. It's the second opportunity I've had this year to address educators on this important topic, actually the topic of the new digital educational world. So, what we must do to provide education, and this is what we're all concerned about, education that uplifts everyone in our communities, not just the few who have the time and money and resources. We want to make sure that education is broadly available to all citizens of our society, and that is a challenge. And that's why this conversation about digital education is so important today. The power of online technology has added a new dimension to this conversation, the conversation of really democratizing education. We now have at our disposal tools that can revolutionize the way we teach and spread knowledge all over our community. But the tool, as we know, tools can be used to build and tools can be used to destroy. And I would say that's true of digital education, digital educational processes. They can democratize education, or actually they can make it more elite. And that's counterintuitive, but I'm going to come to that at the end of my talk, some of my concerns about new online educational techniques. So it's up to us to determine the best way to use technology in education, and there's really no easy answer. Many of our countries still have a significant educational divide. We see that even in the city of Los Angeles, and I do not believe that technology alone is a silver bullet that will solve this problem. Rather, online technologies are precision instruments that must be incorporated into what we already know how to do, teach and mentor. So today, I'm here to tell you very briefly how UCLA is using this tool to build a future for higher education that attempts to reach everyone. We want to be more inclusive, and we believe that digital technologies can be helpful. And we can do this without sacrificing what we already do well: mentorship, camaraderie, collaboration, and the ability to live and work in a community of diverse frames of reference, backgrounds, and thinkings. Because in the end, education, as we all know, is not just about memorization of facts, figures, and formulas. It really is transformative of the mind. It's a process that actually changes the way we view the world. We challenge our students to think differently, to understand other people's backgrounds, experiences, and points of view. Students cannot do any of these solely by using a computer or staring at an interactive screen or participating in a virtual chat room. We must still provide our students with a human experience, and we believe that's a residential experience. We must provide them with an opportunity for debate and the ability to work together to solve mysteries and discover solutions. So at UCLA, we've decided that online technologies, as dazzling as they are, should augment the classroom experience, not replace it. But we are doing quite a bit in this area. UCLA offers more than 7,000 online enhanced courses that serves about 27,000 undergraduate students. So online components of our coursework are in fact getting increasingly common. We offer about 40 fully online courses that enroll about 3,500 to 4,000 students a year. And at the graduate level, we offer 70 fully online courses, and that number is growing rapidly. Our engineering school offers a truly fully online master's degree with 67 online courses that's proven to be very popular. In fact, our online master's degree in engineering was ranked the best online program in the United States in engineering, master's in education. At our UCLA Anderson School of Management, we have an MBA program for employed professionals that blends online and face-to-face learning so students don't need to come to campus every week. And UCLA Extension, which is our continuing education unit and a huge, huge business at UCLA, that we reach about 40,000 adult learners each year. We have 500 online certificate courses that enroll about 22,000 people. Students from every state take advantage of these, and 80 countries. So above all, with all of these programs, it's essential that we maintain the highest quality and learning commensurate with a UCLA degree. So within that context, we want to use online technologies to help us reduce the amount of time it takes for students to earn their degree, to manage student costs, which are becoming an increasing problem in the United States, to streamline the path to a degree for our students who transfer to UCLA from other institutions, and to enhance the educational experience for all of our students. But what we will not do is digitize our entire curriculum, especially at the undergraduate level. And we really see differences between undergraduate education and graduate education in terms of the use of fully online courses and degrees. So just because we can digitize courses doesn't mean we must or we should. This deliberately slow adoption of online technology is a move that's actually supported by most of our students, even though the majority of our students grew up in a fully digital society. In a recent survey of our fourth-year students, we asked them would they consider taking a class that was completely online. 60% said flatly no. One student told us, online courses are no substitute for face-to-face interaction. It would be far more difficult to concentrate and learn. Another said, if it was okay taking online courses, I wouldn't pay to come to UCLA. I think I'm coming here for something much more than taking classes online. So students really feel rather strongly that the in-class, the residential experience is extremely important. As higher institutions of higher learning recognize, we've got to understand that there are drawbacks and limitations to what is a very exciting technology. We want our students to understand the complex world and to be able to interact productively with those who agree and disagree with them. These invaluable skills cannot easily be taught online. Rather, they are taught through the interactions with peers, through contact with those with different viewpoints, and that really is what a college campus is all about. It brings students together for an intense learning experience inside the classroom, but also outside the classroom. In fact, at UCLA, we consider the entire city of Los Angeles to be our classroom. We're extraordinarily well linked to that city. One way students engage with the community of Los Angeles is through internships and something called service learning. Last year, more than 2,000 of our undergraduates earned academic credit while serving in local neighborhoods at other institutions. These service learning courses explore subjects ranging from hunger and homelessness to educational equity and environmental justice. These are courses that are taught in the community, in the Los Angeles city proper. They give students the opportunity to work alongside community leaders, build skills in critical thinking, and be directly involved in addressing real-world challenges. They're actually working directly with communities of need in Los Angeles. And even for students who stay on campus, the experience they gain by being physically present in a classroom or a seminar exceeds the benefit of anything we believe relayed online. For example, our Fiat Lux seminars were started in response to the September 11th terrorist attacks. Initially, their mission was to provide a forum for students to process and understand the tragedy. But the program has continued, and it has become a vital part of the curriculum for our students. We now have 200 seminars each year in this Fiat Lux program. All of them are taught by highly respected faculty members who share their intellectual passion and expertise and interact deeply with all the students in their seminar. There's small discussion groups, there's never more than 20 students, and they foster deep discourse on given topics. Again, very difficult to reproduce online. And although they began with the focus of September 11th, they now encompass a wide range of very challenging areas from chemistry to literature. This fall, the offerings include Buddhism and the art of living mindfully in the present, women in math, a modern history, and ISIS, Syria, and the new Middle East. And every winter, another seminar gives students the opportunity to interview survivors of the World War II concentration camps and to digitally record their story for future generations. These are unique and irreplaceable experiences for our students. No online program could replace them. But the Holocaust class I just mentioned is a perfect example of how technology can propel education in the right direction if we use it wisely. In fact, that can be said of many of our new initiatives in the humanities. And I'm proud to say that UCLA is a leader in what we like to call the new humanities. We're committed to respecting the traditional underpinnings of a strong liberal arts education, one grounded in strong humanistic principles. It's an education that exposes all of our students to an array of languages, religions, cultures, and philosophies, and then challenges them to make sense in the context of modern society. But in this digital age, we have the opportunity to take these lessons even further, to use them to further unlock the past. So again, here's where digital technologies tremendously enhance in-class experience. We call it Digital Humanities, and it's one of our most exciting programs. Digital Humanities teaches students to create, apply, and interpret new digital and information technologies. We believe it gives our graduates a competitive edge whether they pursue careers in business, technology, or in media. Digital Humanities has been used in scholarly projects across the campus, from mapping the migration patterns of Holocaust survivors to using Twitter to study the progression of the 2011 Egyptian revolution. This is what the future of education looks like. It's a landscape where the modern informs traditional, where digital solutions can address ancient mysteries, and where online technologies can reinforce, but I believe not replace, the transformative experience of a college campus. So I said at the beginning of my talk that online technologies can either democratize education or perhaps make it more elite. And this is my concern. In the United States, about a decade and a half ago, there was concern of something we called the digital divide. And I'm sure this is true in many countries. And the concern was students from affluent families would have excellent bandwidth and could learn to use computers rapidly and take advantage of the knowledge available on the web because they had access to digital technology. Whereas students from poor families would not have access to digital technologies and therefore would not develop the skills necessary to be successful in today's world. So that was called the digital divide. The digital divide has largely disappeared in the United States because of the decrease in the cost of bandwidth and computers. So nearly everyone, and same in South Korea, I'm sure, that wants to have a computer and wants to have access to online information probably can get access. But there's a risk of a new digital divide, which I call the reverse digital divide. Several of our leaders in California a few years ago started talking about how wonderful it would be if there were whole universities, part of the University of California system, that was online, a virtual online campus. That instead of students having to spend the amount of money they have to spend to be on a residential campus, they could get their education from the digital campus of the University of California. And I saw an immediate flag go up, red flag, when I heard about that. And my concern was that what could happen was that students from less affluent families would sit in their homes, get a digital education, and lose all the opportunities of being in residence on a residential campus, whereas more affluent students could go to the residential campus for their education. So what would be the difference? The students in residence would have an opportunity, obviously, to join student groups and become student leaders and learn how to lead, leadership opportunities. The students on campus would have opportunities to work in laboratories and do independent research, and probably those are the students that would go on to PhD programs because they've already had experience in laboratories. The students on campus would make connections with other students that may help them after they graduate, important social connections. So I saw there could be a new divide beginning to develop in the US between students who were getting a digital education, an online education, and students on campuses that were getting this hybrid education. So I think it's something we have to be mindful of as we use these very powerful technologies. And I don't want to leave you with the sense that I'm negative about online education or the use of digital technologies in the classroom. I'm very enthusiastic. But I think as we move ahead, we have to keep our eyes open. There are some dangers in fully online education, and we have to make certain that as we make education more accessible through online education, we still invest to make certain that students from lower income families can still receive residential educations as well, if that's what they choose to do. So I think there's some risks, but on the other hand, it's obviously going to change our lives, the digital revolution, and perhaps 20 years ago from now, we'll be looking back and thinking, how did we even have this discussion? This is just an integral part now of the way we educate our children. So I thank you very much. I appreciate your attention.
Okay, thank you, Chancellor Jim Black. He presented current status of digital online education of the UCLA. UCLA is the world-leading university of the digital online education. And he also gave us the pro and con of the online education. And okay, thank you again. And the next speaker is the Mr. Okay, I'm sorry. Jacques Biot. He's the president of the Ecole Polytechnique. He has a very interesting background. Before he became president of the university, he was the president of a startup company. He has the various experience. He used to work in the government. Also, he used to work in the industry. And also, he started a startup and finished very successfully. And 3 years, he became the president of the world-famous university. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Minister, dear colleagues on the panel, and ladies and gentlemen, well, thanks to the organizers for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be in Seoul. It's also my second time this year, and it's a great city and a great country. So thanks for inviting me. Actually, digital education and the future of education, what I see is that our industry is hit in a double way by digital. Digital has a double impact because on the one hand, we need to teach the digital revolution to our students, and that's a very important change. And then digital is changing our way of teaching. So digital is both an object that we teach, but we also are a subject of the digitalization. So this is probably the industry which is most hit by digital. Now, what's the relevance for human resources? Most of you are human resources people. So why would you bother about that? Well, the first reason is that if we don't teach appropriately the digital revolution, then the people that you hire would not be employable immediately. So we really need to teach the impact of digital to our students in order for them to be ready to be very efficient in the digital world in the interest of your organizations. And then there is a specific need for us to also help us retrain your employees, because most of your employees are not familiar with digital. So there is also a role for us in helping you to bring your employees up to speed with digital. Now, what's the relevance of the digitalization of education? Well, first of all, that really may create a big change in the way we operate. So you usually select young employees based on their university curriculum. And you want to know that they come from the best universities. Now, the best universities tomorrow will not necessarily be the same as yesterday, so you want to be sure that our universities are efficient in becoming digital. But also, if we go for more digital degrees, you will want to be sure that those graduates that have graduated through digital processes are really as good as the previous ones were. So you really need to assess the value of the digitally trained graduates. And also, you may use digital education internally for the training of your employees, because it's a very good way to, I would say, modernize the knowledge of your employees. So let's look first at digital as an object for us that we need to teach. And if we look at the various stakes of digital in industry, you know, I mean, the previous conference in April in Seoul was about Industry 4.0. You are very attentive to that. Well, there is a lot of impact in the real world from digitalization. Obviously, there is an impact from science, and there still are many disruptive innovations to come from our labs. So that's something that we need to be attentive to. Technology, which is not quite the same as science. Science would be really disruptive. It would be the really big discoveries. Technology is more about incremental innovations. Infrastructures are very important. Then we know that there is a lot of impact on business models and as a consequence on corporate strategy. Then many consequences that we see often in the street in many countries on employment, and then consequences of social acceptance, and finally regulation. What's the consequence for us universities? The consequence is that all our faculties are involved with teaching digital. It's not just a question of our scientific and technological teachers. It really needs the input of all our faculty. And so if we go a little bit more into detail, in terms of science and technology, what's the consequence? First one is that we should keep a very fundamental research, what I call the research at the frontier of knowledge, what some sociologists of science call the Pasteur's quadrant, where you really ask scientists to do research just based on what they think is of interest, and you don't interfere with their choice. You just ask them to be conscious of the applications. So that's really fundamental research. You want research to be multidisciplinary. It's not just about mathematics, it's maths, pure maths, applied maths, in terms of defining new algorithms and things like that. Computer science, physics, mechanics to work on the captors, materials. So really quite a number of consequences on how we organize science and technology. In terms of teaching our students how to handle the question of infrastructure, you need to teach them engineering and public policy, because it's really a government responsibility to make sure that networks are present in the country. So that's something very specific to teach. In terms of the business model and the corporate strategy, you really need to revamp all the teaching on economy. Teach them the new business models means that you teach them to think about who uses, who prescribes, who pays, who regulates. The function of the consumer today is split between a number of people, and that's very different of the past when you just had a consumer and a producer and you wanted to regulate the interaction between these people. Today, the consumer, is really split between various functions. Also, which impact does digital have on existing businesses? Then, in terms of employment, you need to teach a lot of economics and finance, try to teach them about Schumpeterian economy so that they don't believe in the secular stagnation. We have a very strong responsibility in that. You need to teach them about job contracting, and you also need to develop executive education, as mentioned. And finally, because there is a question of societal acceptance, you need to teach them law about privacy law, competition law, intellectual property law, also human resources management. So a number of things that we should teach. And so if you look at the responsibility for the digitalization of society, it's obviously a responsibility of many organizations. Government have a role, industry has a role, finance has a role, citizens have a role, but universities have a major role. Now, if we come to the second topic, university as an object. A couple of years ago, that's not long ago, actually 4 years ago, the CEO of Udacity, which is a MOOC provider company, said in 50 years there will be only 10 institutions in the world developing higher education, and Udacity has a shot at being one of them. So we're 4 years later, so he still has 46 years to prove that he was right. But today, I'm not sure that many people would endorse that, I would say, that quotation. And so, I'm going to elaborate a little bit on that. I think, basically, this view is misunderstanding the value creation chain that we produce in universities. What students expect to acquire from us is obviously knowledge, but not just knowledge. They also come to acquire know-how, soft skills. We had presentations this morning about curiosity. They need to come to us and to learn how to be curious. They also want to acquire a first job experience via internships and project work. They also need to acquire networking, networking with alumni, networking with employers, and basically, so they don't come to acquire knowledge, they come to acquire a job. That's what families expect when they kind of entrust us with their kids, and so that's our foremost responsibility. And a job is not necessarily at the end of an online course. So there are a number of activities that digital shall not displace in our value creation chain. Well, first of all, we don't just disseminate knowledge, we produce it. And so research, and especially research, fundamental research at the frontier of knowledge, is something that is not going to be replaced by robots, at least not immediately. It's a way for us to attract the best in the world faculty. You know, faculty come to us not just to teach or to be in front of a camera, they come to us to do research. Doing research at the frontier of knowledge provides food for us to provide up-to-date teaching. So if you want to teach the most up-to-date knowledge, you need to produce it. What we do is we do a lot of curriculum individualization. You know, now students expect to be counseled, so you really need to talk with them and interact with them personally, and nothing will replace the one-to-one teacher-student interaction. Also, what we do is teamwork training. You know, for instance, at Polytechnique, we have project-based learning where students have to gather in a group and do a project. That's not something that you will easily replace by online teaching. Also, they do sports. I mean, sports is very important in our teaching. And you're not going to replace a rugby game by an e-game. So this is something very important in terms of creating teams for your organizations and teaching them to work in a group. Also, they have a lot of industry interaction via internships and contract research, and they get insight into the job market, and also interacting with our alumni allows them to identify role models to which they identify themselves. Then on the long course, they will keep a solidarity. If you've gone through a great university, usually you will be able to call somebody else who is also an alumnus of the same university, and they will support you and help you in finding a job. So solidarity and recommendation. This is not to say that there are no benefits to digital. Actually, digital does have benefit. It allows us to outreach to a larger number of students, especially in developing or emerging countries. Our provost was in Senegal last week, and in Senegal, you know, they are developing online courses and touching something like quite a few thousand students via digital. So this is something that we're supporting, and obviously we see the beauty of reaching to students who are somewhere in the outback and who couldn't otherwise have access to knowledge. It's also a way, especially in countries in France where you have a lot of social unrest, to reach to populations in some suburbs where, you know, low-income people don't necessarily have the chance to come to very good high schools. It's also a way to improve the quality of our current teaching. You know, it's the basis for flipped classes if you go through small private online courses. So we do need to invest into learning sciences. And also, if you use artificial intelligence, you may use it to do more individualized learning. And finally, it's certainly something that we need to do for our reputation, because now everybody looks at whether a university does online courses. But there are many challenges. First of all, it's not just a camera filming the teacher, so you need to develop really techniques to produce those courses, and you also need to develop, again, artificial intelligence for individualized teaching, because we see it as a potential way of doing things, but there is still a lot of work on that to develop the methods. Also, we need to find a business model. At this stage, for us at least, we don't charge, we don't know what to charge, we don't know whom to charge, so we still need to see how to earn money from that way of providing education. And finally, as mentioned earlier, we need to establish a link with HR people, because really we need to discuss together how you will recognize the value of digital degrees. And final question, especially in emerging countries, you don't always have the network. You know, in Africa, one of the big issues is that they don't have internet in every place, or they have it only via phones, so you really need to think in terms of the infrastructures. So our experience, obviously, we've been pioneers in France. I mean, we've started back in 2013, and with quite a lot of success. I mean, our students, our online students, like that. Most of them say they will follow another course. Most of them say they improve their perception of the Ecole Polytechnique. But we still think that nothing will replace the relationship between students and teachers. And with this being said, as mentioned, for us, this is still not a business that earns money. So we've been able to develop this, and I would like to thank him with the generous support of one of our alumni, Patrick Drahi, who supports our effort into digital education. And with that, I would like to thank you and keep some time for the questions to the rest of the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Biot. So he discussed about the digitalization of the education and university, and also he talked about what should you teach. So, okay, thank you again. Last, I'd like to invite the President and Professor of the Kim Jin-Hyung. He's the CEO of the Artificial Intelligence Research Institute. But he's the pioneer of the artificial intelligence research at KaiStan, also in Korea. And but he asked me to. He would like to talk in Korean, yeah. But I'd like to ask you to keep the time, yeah, about 10 minutes.
Yeah, although
okay, thank you.
although I prepare my talk in English, I like to deliver in Korean. I asked excuse from my colleague, the panelist. I like to deliver my passion rather than some fact. That's why I'm trying to deliver in Korean. 여러분, 우리 올해 연초에 4차 산업혁명이란 말 아주 많이 들었어요. 뭐 오늘 이 세션도 뭐 4차 산업혁명과 뭐 이런 식의 준비가 됩니다. 여기에 우리 3월 달에 알파고가 이세돌을 이기는 그런 사건이라고 그럴까요? 그것하고 이게 포개지는 바람에 많은 한국 사람들은 4차 산업혁명을 만들어가는 것이 인공지능이다라는 것을 이제는 많이 이해하신 것 같습니다. 저는 한 40년 인공지능을 연구하고 뭐 소프트웨어 중요하다는 얘기를 하고 다니는 사람으로서 지난 한 3, 4년 전부터 4차 산업혁명이라는 말은 안 썼지만 저는 소프트웨어 혁명이라는 말을 즐겨 썼습니다. 소프트웨어가 세상을 바꾸고 있다. 소프트웨어가 세상을 먹어치우고 있다. 이런 표현을 외국에서는 많이들 보고 있습니다. 지금까지의 산업혁명이 우리의 육체 노동을 자동화시키는 데 집중했었다 그러면은 이번에 나타나는 이 산업혁명은 우리의 정신노동과 지식노동을 자동화시키는 데 쓰이고 있습니다. 그래서 그것이 미치는 영향의 깊이와 폭이 훨씬 더 심각하다고 생각합니다. 그것을 만들어주는 게 저는 소프트웨어라고 생각합니다. 인공지능은 그 소프트웨어 중에서 사람처럼 잘하면은 사람들이 인공지능이라고 부르고 있어요. 이번에 알파고도 보세요. 바둑두는 프로그램이에요. 바둑두는 소프트웨어예요. 사람처럼 잘하니까 우리가 다 인공지능이라고 그래요. 인공지능은 한 70년 된 학문입니다. 컴퓨터가 만들어진 지가 70년이 됐으니까 컴퓨터가 만들어진 것과 똑같은 시대에 인공지능의 연구가 시작됐어요. 어떤 면에서는 컴퓨터 자체가 인공지능을 위한 기계입니다. 컴퓨터라는 것은 우리 사람이 생각하는 것을 옮겨서 자동화시키는 기능이 있습니다. 그렇게 하기 위해서 만들었어요. 그동안 70년 동안 여러 가지 기술들이 나타났고 또 우리가 흥분하고 야 이것이 우리 문제를 다 풀어주는 거라 했는데 또 그것의 약점도 발견되고 또 새로운 기술이 나오고 계속 그런 역사를 70년 동안 해왔습니다. 70년대에는 그때 당시에 전문가 시스템이라는 또 인공지능의 하나의 분야가 굉장히 큰 호응을 받았습니다. 오죽하면은 타임 매거진의 1983년도 1호로 카바 스토리가 인공지능이었습니다. 그 후에 여러 가지 그 왓슨이라는 컴퓨터가 나와서 제퍼디라는 퀴즈쇼에서 사람과 같이 경쟁해서 사람이 쓰는 언어로 이해하고 생각하고 사람이 쓰는 언어로 대답하는 대회에서 컴퓨터를 다 이겼습니다. 이게 2011년이었어요. 5년 전이었어요. 대한민국은 그 당시에 아무것도 관심이 없었습니다. 거기에. 알파고가 이 땅에서 대회를 하니까 모든 언론들이 팍팍 뒤집어 신경을 쓰기 시작했죠. 윌리엄 깁슨이라는 분이 한 얘기가 있습니다. 미래는 이미 와 있다. 단지 공평하게 퍼져 있지 않을 뿐이다. 이런 얘기를 했어요. 대한민국이 정말 이 퍼져 있는 미래에 대해서 너무 모른다라는 게 제 생각입니다. 인공지능은 그동안 여러 가지 그 요소 기술들을 개발을 했고 그것들이 아주 여러 분야에서 액티브하게 활용되고 있습니다. 최근에 스탠포드에서 인공지능의 100년이라는 프로젝트를 시작하고 그중에 15년 사이에 어떤 일이 벌어질 건가 하는 것을 만든 보고서를 최근에 냈는데 거기에 보면은 여러 가지 분야, 특히 8개의 분야가 아주 최근에 인공지능의 응용을 잘 할 수 있는 영역이다 이렇게 얘기를 하고 있습니다. 우리도 빨리 가서 이런 응용을 해야 된다고 생각합니다. 지금 현재 only 1%의 소프트웨어만이 인공지능의 냄새를 피운다고 합니다. 근데 이것이 2018년이 되면은 50%가 된다고 그래요. 이 정도의 속도면은 2019년이면은 100% 되겠죠? 그렇습니다. 이제는 소프트웨어가 바로 인공지능이에요. 인공지능이 바로 소프트웨어입니다. 저는 40년 전에 한국에 와서 인공지능이라는 학문을 전수할 때 인공지능은 소프트웨어를 맛있게 하는 그런 기술이다 이렇게 얘기를 했습니다. 여러분 그 내비게이션을 한번 생각해 봅시다. 내비게이션에 지금 자동차 시동 걸고 나면은 여러 가지 버튼을 눌러야 돼요. 그래야지 출발할 수가 있습니다. 근데 인공지능으로 잘 장비된 그런 시스템이라고 그러면은 자동차 타자마자 어디 같은 데 가자 라든가 아니면 운전하는 도중에 야 약국 좀 들려봐라 라고 하면은 적절하게 찾아가는 그런 인공지능 시스템을 우리는 원해요. 이렇게 하기 위해서는 소프트웨어 시스템, 내비게이션 시스템이 기본적으로 있어야지 인공지능을 쓰지 않겠습니까? 최근에 나온 그 어센처 보고서에 의하면은 인공지능이 우리의 그 성장률을 2배로 높일 수 있다고 얘기를 합니다. 이 보고서에는 인공지능을 성장을 촉진시키는 이네이블러가 아니라 그 이상이다. 새로운 요소다 얘기를 합니다. 우리가 자본과 인력과 그것을 투입하면은 그다음에 요소 팩터에 따라서 생산이 생성되는데 거기에 인공지능을 새로운 요소로 추가하고 있습니다. 이렇게 인공지능이 성장하는 데는 크게 3가지 방향이 있어요. 첫 번째는 지능형 오토메이션입니다. 지금까지의 오토메이션 시스템은 시간이 지날수록 퇴보해요. 디그레이드 되죠. 근데 지능형 오토메이션 시스템은 시간이 지날수록 학습을 통해서 성능이 점점 좋아지고 있습니다. 이것이 성장을 돋궈주고 있고요. 두 번째는 지금 현재 존재하고 있는 그 노동자와 자본재들의 성능을 증강시켜서 능력을 좋게 합니다. 인공지능은 사람의 일자리를 뺏어가는 기술이 아니에요. 사람의 능력을 증강시켜주는 기술입니다. 거기에서 성장이 옵니다. 세 번째는 인공지능은 기술 자체로 끝나는 게 아닙니다. 이 기술을 확산해서 사용해야 돼요. 이걸 이용해서 이노베이션을 만들고, 이노베이션을 만들면 그것이 또 이노베이션을 만들고, 그래서 성장이 일어나고 있습니다. 우리는 이걸 디지털 트랜스포메이션이라고 하는 게 맞을 것 같습니다. AI야말로 디지털 성장을 촉진시키는 촉매다, 이렇게 얘기들 하고 있습니다. 이제는 모든 학문이 컴퓨테이셔널로 옮겨가고 있습니다. 뭐 대학에서 공부 좀 제대로 하려면은 컴퓨테이셔널 스킬이 없으면은 할 수가 없어요. 우리나라에서도 이 다가오는 소프트웨어 중심 사회, 인공지능 사회를 위해서 지난 한 3, 4년 전부터 준비를 많이 하고 있습니다. 특히 새 정부 들어와서 우선 교육 개혁을 하자라고 해서 여러 가지 이제 교육을 바꿔야 된다고 생각하는데, 뭐 많은 노력들이 지금 벌어지고 있습니다. 특히 지금 무엇을 가르칠 건가, 어떻게 가르칠 건가 하는 것에 대해서 많은 변화가 있습니다. 저는 4C 에듀케이션 패러다임이라는 것을 굉장히 가슴에 새기고 있습니다. 우리가 교육은 결국 창의성을 촉진시키는데 교육의 목표가 있어야 되고, 그렇게 하기 위해서는 critical thinking, communication, collaboration, 뭐 이런 식의 거를 이제 실천함으로써 창의성 교육이 가능하다고 생각합니다. 교육은 경쟁이 아니다. 같이 배우는 거예요. 콜라보레이션을 통해서 배워야 되는 겁니다. 저는 이것이 우리의 중요한 교육 목표가 된다고 생각합니다. 요즘에 다행히도 젊은 교사들을 중심으로 플립드 클래스, 거꾸로 교실을 실행하는 그런 젊은 교사들이 많이 생겼습니다. 커뮤니티가 보니까 한 10,000명 정도가 회원이 되어 있더라고요. 그래서 지금 일방적으로 가리키는, 그리고 일방적으로 외우게 하는 그 교육에서 벗어나서 이렇게 실천해보는 프로젝트는 이런 것을 좀 하고 있습니다. 우리가 이노베이션 이면에서 얘기합니다. 인문학 하시는 분들하고 얘기하면 이노베이션 중요하다는 얘기하고, 이노베이션을 하기 위해서는 뭐 인문학적 창의성이 필요하다, 이런 얘기 말씀 많이 하십니다. 저기 동의합니다. 그러나 이노베이션도 이제 구체적인 스킬이 필요합니다. 기술이 필요합니다. 그 기술이 뭔가 같이 볼까요? 저는 코딩, 프로그래밍 가장 기본이에요. 아무리 좋은 창의력이 있어도 구현할 수 없으면 뭐에 쓰겠습니까? 그 다음에 데이터 사이언스, 데이터를 분석하고 그거를 시각화시키고, 그 다음에 그거를 통해서 학습을 시키고, 이런 거, 그래서 앱을 만들고, 뭐 게임화 만들고, 뭐 이런 것들 능력 기본적으로 필요합니다. 이거 위에 엔지니어링 베이직, 컴퓨테이셔널 싱킹, 피지컬 컴퓨팅, 3D 프린팅, 뭐 드론, 로봇, 뭐 이런 식의 기술하고 연결시켜서 재미난 시스템을 만드는 거예요. 뭐 IoT 요즘에 많이 쓰이고 있죠. 간단한 기술 가지고 아주 창의적인 제품을 만들 수 있는 IoT 우리가 해야 되는 겁니다. 이 기술이 어려워서 대학원 나온 학생만 하는 게 아니라 고등학생들이 하는 거예요. 중학생들이 해야 되는 겁니다. 그 위에 뭐 이런 심성을 갖춰야 되겠죠. Growth Mindset, Design Thinking, Entrepreneurship, Global Citizenship, 이런 거 가르쳐야죠. 이런 기술을 배우도록 해야 됩니다. 이러한 기술들을 갖추고 또 이거를 또 이용해서 뭔가를 해보기 위해서는 저는 그룹 프로젝트가 최고다라고 생각해요. 실생활에 있는 문제를 해결하기 위한 그룹 프로젝트, 이런 식의 교육을 해야 된다라고 생각하고, 우리 학교에서도 이런 식의 교육을 해야 됩니다. 거꾸로 교실이 그런 걸 실천하고 있는 교사들의 운동이라고 생각하시면 됩니다. 데이터 사이언스, 머신러닝, 이제는 기본 기술이 됐어요. 고등학생들도 머신러닝 기술을 이용해서 문제를 풀고 있습니다. 저는 우리나라에서는 대학원 학생 정도 돼야지 이걸 지금 다루고 시작하는데 우린 초중고등학교에서 컴퓨팅을 안 했으니까, 코딩을 안 했으니까 이런 기술을 다룰 수가 없어요. 재미난 얘기 하나 전해드리면은 이제는 우리는 기계한테 배워야 됩니다. 이세돌 씨가 누구한테 바둑을 배우겠어요, 앞으로? 알파고한테 배워야 되는 거예요. 알파고가 가르쳐준 대로 둬야지 사람들한테 이길 수가 있어요. 우리가 기계한테 배워와야 돼요. 기계가 가르쳐준 것을 배워야 됩니다. 다행히도 2년 반 전에 한국에서도 우리 초중고등학교 학생들한테 코딩 교육을 의무화하도록 결정을 했습니다. 이것은 학생들한테 그 간단한 스킬을 가르치는 게 아니라, 그것만이 아니라 그 실생활 문제를 그 컴퓨터 과학의 기술을 이용해서 풀어가는 이런 능력을 갖춰주도록 하는 겁니다. 이쪽 분야 관여 안 하시는 분들은 그 단순한 코딩 그거 왜 그 어린애들부터 시키냐 이렇게 말씀하시는데 잘 모르시는 말씀이에요. 전 세계가 이제는 코딩을 5살, 6살 때부터 시킵니다. 우리도 다행히도 이렇게 이제 결정이 됐습니다. 글쎄요, 저는 이 박근혜 정부의 가장 최대의 치적이 이게 아닌가 생각합니다. 또 하나는 해카톤이라든가 스타트업 캠프라든가 메이커스 페어 이런 식으로 여럿이 모여가지고 문제를 토론하면서 같이 해결해가는 이런 식의 콜라보레이션을 통한 그룹 프로젝트 굉장히 중요하다고 생각합니다. 저는 개인적으로 평교수니까 지난 한 7, 8년 전에 앱센터라는 걸 만들어서 그 학교 밖에서 이런 활동들을 많이 했어요. 너무들 좋아하십니다. 참여하는 학생들이 너무 즐거워하고 많은 걸 배울 수가 있어요. 이러다 보면 뭐가 필요한지 자기가 알고 필요한 것은 스스로 공부할 수 있는 계기를 만들어 주는 거죠. 한국의 그 4차 산업혁명을 준비하는 가장 큰 장애 요인이 뭔가 하고 생각해 보니까 저는 컴퓨팅하는 사람이 없어요. 스탠포드 대학은 660명이 컴퓨팅을 합니다. 그것은 공과대학 전체의 44%예요. 서울대학 알아보니까 7%예요. 숫자는 55명이에요. 서울대학은 또 이 전공 숫자만큼밖에 부전공을 못 한답니다. 그러니까 서울대학에서 컴퓨팅을 배우는 공부 제대로 하는 사람은 110명밖에 안 돼요. 3,000명이 들어가는데 1년에. 저는 이거부터 우선 깨우쳐야 된다고 생각합니다. 컴퓨팅이라는 게 여러 분야 중에 하나, 10몇 개 과목 중에 하나가 아니고요. 모든 학문의 기초가 되는 거고 이걸 해야지만이 그 다음 거를 할 수 있는 이런 세상이 됐다는 거예요. 이 정부에서는 그 소프트웨어 오리엔티드 유니버시티 프로그램을 지금 시행을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 모든 전공 불문하고 모든 학생들한테 그 소프트웨어 개발하는 능력을 갖춰라 그런 교육도 시키고, 그다음에 컴퓨터 소프트웨어 엔지니어를 좀 하이 퀄리티 엔지니어를 좀 양성을 하고 이런 식의 여러 가지 프로그램을 진행하고 해서 필요한 자금을 지원해주는 그런 프로그램을 지금 진행을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 아마 2017년까지 한 30개 대학 정도를 이렇게 또 돕겠다고 그랬습니다. 지금 현재 반 정도, 한 15개 정도 대학이 이런 지원을 받고 있습니다. 저는 이거 좀 더 강조해서 이걸 연구비를 이런 지원금을 받든 안 받든 모든 대학 총장님들이 알아서 자기 학생들을 소프트웨어 교육을, 코딩 교육을 스스로 좀 시키시기를 부탁드립니다. 예, 마지막인데 이게 4차 산업혁명이 우리한테 기회인가? 글쎄요, 답은 간단하죠. 준비만 되면은 우리한테 더없이 좋은 기회입니다. 근데 이렇게 준비 안 했다가는 지금 알량하게 만들었던 3만 불 시대, 산업사회의 마지막 성공 다 날아갈 것 같아요. 저는 우리가 좀 더 새로운 4차 산업혁명에 대해서 이게 본질이 뭔지, 이게 필요한 기술이 뭔지, 그걸 어떻게 우리가 확보를 해야 되는지 하는 거에 대해서 좀 더 깊이 있는 토론이 있었으면 좋겠다고 생각합니다. 그리고 또 이런 인공지능이 이제 우리 사회 일반으로 다가오니까 우선 우리 퍼블릭 또 의사결정하는 사람들이 좀 인공지능에 대해서 잘 알아야 되겠어요. 이것이 뭐가 본질이 뭐고 어떤 약점이 있고 어떤 강점이 있는 건지 이런 걸 잘 알고, 그다음에 우리 사회가 인공지능 중심으로 가기 위한 그 트랜지션, 그 변화를 잘 설계해서 매니지를 잘하지 않으면은 좀 어려울 수도 있다라는 것을 경고드립니다. 네, 이상 마치겠습니다.
Okay, thank you, Professor and President Kim Jin-hyung, for your passionate presentation on the artificial intelligence and software education for the fourth revolution. Okay, you have about 30 minutes now, and so I have some question you have. First, we have some question. First, the question is to Jacques Biot. Jacques Biot, the question is like this. You are living in the age of ICT, the digital divide in the birth child of the digital technology. How can you minimize the digital divide by the digital technology? This question is from the Dr. Sakari Ali of the Bangladesh. Okay, good, thank you. Could you respond?
Yeah, actually, well, you know, the interest for us of digital is, I mean, it's really is multiple. Basically, it's very important for us universities to watch at what's happening in other industries. So, to some extent, we're very well placed because we teach digital, and so we are very attentive to how it is changing other industries, and we need to wonder every day whether it's going to change our business model. So, I mean, for instance, I watch at the consequence of digital for airlines. You know, in airlines, we've seen low costs coming, especially on short distance flights. And my fear at the stage was that digital might be the equivalent of low cost companies for us. And like was said, you know, it could displace parts of our business. Some of us feared that it would displace the bachelors, you know, the undergrads, because it may look easier to teach undergrads with digital than to teach masters or PhDs where you need more interaction with the teacher. So we need to be attentive to that. I mean, in the travel industry, digital has a very great importance. If you look at the importance of all the booking.coms and TripAdvisors, etc., they have a very important role. That could also have a very important role for us. Universities, we could have the same. The rankings, to some extent, play the same role. They are not built in the same way. They often give somehow questionable results. And actually they give very variable results, but still they are a threat to us in terms of the impact. So we need to be very attentive to digital. Also, it's a huge opportunity because first of all, it's a field where we need to teach our students clearly because they will face digital once they are in industry. And so, I mean, at Polytechnique, for instance, we're hiring mathematicians. Our math department has increased by 50% over the last 2 years. I mean, we are hiring mathematicians like mad and trying to find the best mathematicians in the world. We are hiring computer science specialists. So, and that's great because those people, they cost a lot, but they cost us less than physicists who want to have big equipment. So from a strategical perspective, digital is a great opportunity for us. So once again, you know, we have a balanced view on that. I mean, we need to be attentive to the consequences for us, but we need to invest a lot to teach our students and make sure that the graduates that you will hire will be trained in that field.
Okay, next question is to Chancellor Black. The question is from Mr. Park Hyun-wook from the Sagang University. Do you believe the growing number of online courses will ultimately render the in-class lecture outdated? And there come a time of pure click on the internet browser replace the traditional college visit? And another question to Jim Black. So, how the digital revolution of education is really contribute the equal opportunity for women? So maybe he's mentioned that still most of the decision making is made on by men. So nearly digital revolution of education contribute equal opportunity for women. Okay, that's the two questions.
I have a question to the
Okay, good.
block.
Okay, you like that?
Yeah, about
Okay,
the
after.
online education. What is the value of online education in offering master's and science degree in engineering? I believe engineering need the hand-on experience, the making something and destroying something. That kind of activity is good for the training. But online, you just hear and listen and something, that's all. I understand the value of online education for the complementing offline education, but the totally online education in engineering doesn't make sense to me. I'm graduated from UCLA Engineering School.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, so let me start off with first the two questions from the audience, the two-part question. Answering the second one first. So what about women and online education? Is it going to either unfairly penalize women involved in online education because many of the courses are still being developed by males? I would say first, in terms of course development, that's equalizing more and more. I think we're finding more and more women faculty also creating courses. There is an interesting benefit to online education, and that is lots of studies of classrooms show that gender, race, ethnicity can affect the learning environment. And often there's learning environments where it's been shown that women are less aggressive about asking questions and sometimes tend to get marginalized in a physical classroom. So I always thought it's intriguing that maybe the virtual classroom may provide equality for people who may not have that equality in a physical classroom. So I think it's the data is still out, but it's going to be interesting to see whether it actually is a leveler in terms of gender. So that's the question about women. The first question about whether, in fact, I think online education is really going to replace residential education. I have my doubts about it. Number one, I think that the residential component is, for the reasons I think several of us mentioned, has real value for most individuals. And I do worry, again, that we have to make sure that residential education remains accessible, at least some residential education for all students. I think it would be terrible if lower income students are all forced to do everything online. Now, there's a concern about online, and I think, I'm not an expert in this area, but there was a study at San Jose State studying the effect of online education on their undergraduates. And of course, California is very diverse, and there are groups in California, Latino students, for example, that have historically struggled, and now finally we're beginning to see real progress among Latino students in college. It turns out, I think, that underrepresented students, African American students, Latino students, struggled more with online courses than they did with in-class courses. There was something about the contact of a faculty member, the mentoring relationship, that apparently made it easier for them. So there may be differential effects of online education. Middle-class children from majority backgrounds may thrive more, and therefore there is a risk that in fact you can create an unequal learning environment online given the background of your students. Again, it's something that we have to be very sensitive to in California because of the great diversity of the backgrounds of our students. But it was a warning, at least, that that much online education may have to be crafted more carefully by experts that know how to reach all populations. That is, it's not as simple as a faculty member putting their course online. We really maybe need some expertise on how to reach all students. So, long answer, but that would be my response. Now, in terms of engineering, I think there are certain types of engineering, obviously, that require, in-lab experience. But for many students that have been undergraduates, already had lab experience as undergraduates, a master's online, especially in areas like computer science, I think could be quite adequate. That's my sense. But I'm not an engineer. So have to be careful here. But I think that it's very different for a PhD where there's going to require in-laboratory work. That's quite different. Or for undergraduates, I think, where I think they first want to use their hands in some way, although that's increasingly less common in engineering programs. But I think masters might be a safe place to use online education.
Okay. Next question is the Minister 묘태지, Minister Ji. The question is from the somebody from the Bangladesh, and my question to you, I'd like to know about the PhD program for Rangoon University as a foreign student. Is there any possible for useful for foreign student like distance learning in Bangladesh? Yeah, PhD program. Yeah, is possible through the distance learning.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. Yeah. At the Yangon University offer the PhD programs for the national local students and also for the international students also. But for the PhD program, yeah, we have no distance learning opportunity, not yet. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, and you are almost finish. Yeah, you are approaching the final time, and so I'd like to ask you the common question. Yeah, as a last comment. Common question is this: what's the Common question is I think the common question is like this: what's the most important element of the digital education, especially in the university? And then when you must prepare for the digital online education in the futures. Okay, this is the common question. So everybody, you can answer. Maybe Professor Kim Jin-hyung, you answer first, yeah? Okay, so in
I
the
already
direction.
insist that understanding computing is most important aspect of digital education. So power and value and limitations of digital technology is key for the digital education.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Biot. Jacques Biot.
I would say paradoxically that the most important thing is multidisciplinarity, because digital as such is not a solution. I mean, digital only goes if you understand the business, the underlying business. So digital is something which transforms a business, but if you wanted to transform the business in a clever way, you really need to understand the business, the underlying business. And so if you want to understand the underlying business, you need to have a multidisciplinary approach. And so this is why I would insist on the fact that obviously you need people who are versed in mathematics and in computer science, but you also need them to be curious of other businesses and of the rest of disciplines.
Yeah, that would also be, my response. The great concern, again, is there's a tendency, this may be an extreme tendency with online education to really make it rather narrow. And I think that what our students benefit from, especially at multidimensional universities, is a sort of liberal sciences experience where even if you're in the sciences, you learn something about the humanities and other areas, and that ends up making you more creative, actually, even in your science work. So I'd worry that we have to keep focused and make sure that we don't thin out our curriculum as we increasingly go to online opportunities.
For the online courses and e-learning courses, ICT must be used effectively and transparently as a tool for the teaching learning methodologies. Yeah, thank you very much.
So, okay, now you are running out of time. Okay, so now I'd like to make conclusion. Anyway, today's presentation really talk about the overall status of the digital education and especially higher education. And you discuss about pro and con and advantage and disadvantage and limitation of the online education. But you also learned the urgency of the online education and the software education for the fourth revolution. So you learned a lot, especially you understand the status of the Myanmar as a developing country, also the status of digital online education in the world leading university, also European university and the Korean situation. So really I thank the excellent speakers again. And also I'd like to thank all the participants and audience. And I'd like to conclude the plenary session. Thank you very much.
네, 여러분 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 고맙습니다. 네, 고맙습니다. 이렇게 두 번째 기조 세션 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 지금부터는 약 30분 정도 휴식 시간 갖도록 하겠습니다. 잠시 휴식 취하신 뒤에 4시부터 다음 세션 진행하겠습니다. 고맙습니다.